GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
So, Fatman. Fatman? Fatman. Motherfucker.
Must have died.
Well, let's find out more about that on the wrestling show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy. And welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. So, as you probably figured out by now, Fatman's not with us. Unfortunately, he had a little bit of a medical issue. He'll be fine, but he can't really talk right now, and he's having some issues with his dental work and whatnot, so he can't really talk all that well. Unlike me, who had dental work and still showed up, he decided to fuck off and take the night off. Fucker.
Hardest working man in this podcast.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I still have the wonderful Chip Willett with us.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And of course, Ryan Williams.
Hi, y'all.
And tonight we're actually going to talk about NXT, both nights of Stand and Deliver. I suspect this might be a very short show, because I don't think anyone's going to really disagree too much as a whole. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Fatman's not here to fuck with us, so we'll see how it goes. Did either of you watch the pre-match or pre-shows on either matches? Actually, there wasn't one on night one. Sorry. There was one on night two.
The one on night two, yes, but it was cool. I liked it.
Pretty good for a house show.
It was Breezango versus Killian Day and Drake Maverick. Yeah. So it's fine. It was a fine match. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was fine. We'll just leave it at that. Let's get into night one. We start off with Pete Dunne versus Kushida. What are you guys' thoughts? Let's start with Chip.
I thought it was a great opening match for NXT TakeOver Night 1. It set the tone. A lot of action, a lot of high flying between both of them. The way that Pete Dunne just manipulates joints is just mind-blowing, and ouch. Every time he would twist his fingers or his arm, I'd be like, okay, that doesn't bend that way. I gave it 3 3/4 star for an opening match.
Excellent. Ryan.
So, as much as I enjoyed the match, anybody else just watch them fight and go, well, fuck. Walter and Ciampa is going to have to top that slap chop, boys.
And boy, did it ever. We'll get to that.
Oh, we will definitely get to that. They beat the shit out of each other on this match. I gave it 4 stars. Actually, Meltzer gave it 4 1/4, which is pretty high considering it's an opening match. But yeah,
and it's not AEW.
And it's not AEW. So, fuck Dave Meltzer. His lowest rating was the opening match tonight too. The Breezango versus Killian Day and Drake Maverick. And that was 2 stars. That was his lowest.
Yeah, technically that wasn't part of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, if you want to go, that was actually part of the pay-per-view, it's still 2.5.
I'll go for it.
So his least favorite match was still considered an average match.
Fuck you, Dave Meltzer. Not knowing what the pre-show is.
Yeah, well, whatever. So we had a Gauntlet Eliminator match. Here were the participants. Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and El a night. So this was actually a whoever won this got a NXT North American Championship match the next night. Obviously Bronson Reed won. Meltzer gave it 3.5 stars. I actually agree with Meltzer. Once again, it was a match that was meant to obviously put a shine on NXT's quote unquote mid card. And it did that in spades, really. Everyone had a good, shine out of it. I thought it was really well done. It was nice to, implement LA Knight in there without giving him the immediate win. Cause I don't think he was I think he was the obvious choice to win this match. So when he didn't, it kind of threw things. Swerve. The swerve that wasn't swerve. Having Bronson Reed, win here was an interesting call. I think out of all of them, outside of maybe Cameron Grimes, it was an interesting choice. I'll just leave it at that. Ryan.
I enjoyed the match. I always fucking hate your star ratings. That was better than most of the matches over the course of this night because you gave enough of young people, we'll call it your mid-card division, time to shine, right? I really did expect Dexter Loomis to win, so it was a nice little twist for Bronson Reed.
Yeah. Chip?
I gave it 3.5 as well. I was really thrown by the Bronson Reed. I really thought it was going to be Cameron, actually, because they've been pushing him to the moon lately. But he hasn't really had any interaction with Johnny Wrestling anyway, so I guess that wouldn't make sense. But this Bronson Reed was just really confusing to me because then bringing in LA Knight a couple weeks ago, I thought, okay, he's the one that's going to win. And then when I saw him get eliminated so early, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming. But it definitely left more to be desired for the next night because I wasn't really enthralled by that match. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
It's funny because I had the same opinion you had, Chip, about LA Knight coming in. They were going to push him right away until he lost on TV to Bronson Reed. And I went, well, maybe they're not going to push him as hard immediately. So it's funny that somebody from that match did get the push.
Not the one everyone thought was going to, though.
Yeah.
No, right?
I agree. 100% agree. Okay, it's time, everyone, to cover up your chests and talk about Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter for the NXT United Kingdom Championship.
If he had hair left, Walter would have knocked every bit of it out.
Oh my goodness.
She hit him so hard.
Holy fuck.
There was one smack where I thought I blew the speaker on my home theater system.
Ryan, what did you feel about this?
Unpopular opinion, match of the weekend.
Okay.
Not very unpopular at all, but okay.
Well,
yeah, see?
it is an unpopular opinion. I will say that. I can't even say that. That's not necessarily true, but we'll continue on.
Yeah, but like that's how highly I thought of this match. Like I enjoyed it, especially for Walter being such a beast. He looked like he was vulnerable against Ciampa in moments, so like you could almost believe that he was going to lose that belt. Like everything about that match was just a great overall experience, and you can't forget how long Walter's held that title. Like, and he
165 days, right?
It was over 700 for sure, and like he keeps having these title defenses, and they keep putting him up with good guys. Like, I kind of want to see Walter break San Martino's record and just hold that belt for like 10 years.
He's currently on. I'm looking it up now. There's only been 3 reigns of this title, by the way, yeah. Which makes
Tyler Bate was 120 days.
Yep.
And Pete Dunne was like 600 days.
So these are the official numbers. 125 days for Tyler Bate. He then lost it to Pete Dunne, who held it for 685 days. Pete Dunne lost it on April 5th, 2019, the weekend of WrestleMania 2 years ago. He's currently on, and still counting, 739 days. So he's already broken Pete Dunne's record. And honestly, I don't see any end in sight. Whoever beats him is going to be a fucking immediate star.
I really thought it was going to be Ciampa. I really did.
Well, and I want to touch on that. Tommaso is the first challenger to Walter since probably the rematch against Pete Dunne, that there really was, weakness, as Ryan said. There was, Ciampa did a great job of working the arm, and honestly, Walter did a great job of selling the fucking arm. How many times did he change up his normal routines because he was favoring the arm? He was working the injury angle. And I love that shit. Even on offense, he's working the angle. It's perfection to me. I gave it 5 stars, actually. I wasn't, so I thought it was a perfect match. That's why I was kind of like, but for some strange reason, Meltzer didn't jack off as hard to it. He gave it 4.5 stars. Chip, what do you think?
God damn it. First, I watched it, and then I was sitting there watching it, and at first I was giving, right off the bat, I was going to give it 4.25, but it just kept getting better and better and better, and the selling and the chops and the impact, and the fact that Tommaso Ciampa is just over 200 pounds, and Walter is 275?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That he would have, it was a David and Goliath, but he's really not a David. He's still pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
It was great wrestling, and I don't like this. 4.5. I agree with Meltzer.
I don't agree.
I do recommend finding Walter versus Rampage Brown the next day on NXT UK Prelude, because that was just as amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow.
Here's the thing. I keep saying this over and over and over again about Walter matches, but honestly,
he can go,
but also you kind of have to look at it from the fact that, are you going to take Tommaso Ciampa and move him to NXT UK? No, absolutely not. There was no way he was winning that title, but they did such a great job of making it look like Tommaso could actually beat him that it just was so fucking good.
Some of the best false finishes I've ever seen.
Exactly. I consider this an absolute match of the year contender. 100%.
I fully agree with that.
Let's continue on. Yo dog, I heard you like championship matches. So let's do the NXT Tag Team Championships, which are currently vacant. It was a 3-way match, MSK versus the Grizzled Young Veterans versus El Legado del Fantasma. Meltzer gave it, once again, 4.5 stars. Chip, what do you think?
I didn't give it that high, but it was a really good match. I think the right time, I think the wrong team went over, actually. I thought from the way that the Phantasma, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Legado El Fantasma. I thought they were going to win, honestly. The way they were in control of that match. Am I upset to see MSK go over? No, but I didn't think it was going to be them. I'll give it 4.25.
Ryan, you're the tag team wrestling enthusiast.
I am. I really, really, really fucking enjoyed this match, actually. When the NXT UK tag team titles were debuted and the finals were Mustache Mountain and Grizzly Young Vets, I immediately went, you got to give it to Mustache Mountain to establish the belt, blah, 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 blah. And then Grizzly Young Vets won, and I was almost at fuck Jay Briscoe levels, but not completely. And then this match happened, and it was the same reaction. But during the match, Legado El Fuck Tasmos They went
I'm not the only one. American and a Canadian can't pronounce, so we're good.
They went from me thinking they were in that match solely to be the guys that take the fall to holy fuck, they could actually win this and it'd be enjoyable. I do enjoy MSK too, because I enjoyed their stuff in Impact, so I enjoy them here now with the little twist. But I personally think that the Round Kid died and the Grizzled Young Vets should have won the tag belts.
I actually 100% agree with you, Ryan.
So
that being said, holy motherfuck. The only thing I can say about this is I didn't enjoy it as much as Walter versus Ciampa. That, I mean, from a perspective of well-timed stuff, I'm not a huge fan of triple threats. It's a little bit different because it's it's 6 guys versus 3. Lot of spots, a lot of high-flying stuff, a lot of lucha stuff. It was really well done. Really well done. I gave it 4 3/4 stars. I just don't think it was as good as Walter versus Ciampa. I really don't. As much as I want.
Walter versus Ciampa 5 versus 2.5.
Yeah. I think that the problem is that they were kind of pushing Legado del Fantasma as the team to beat here, mainly because if they won, they had an entire stable with belts again. Because you had Santos.
That's where I thought they were going with that. Actually.
Yeah. So I thought what was going to happen was they were going to win the tag belts, and then Santos was going to win the Cruiserweight title. Only half of that happened. But
actually, I thought that was actually going to be the opposite. I thought they were going to win the tag belts and Santos was going to lose the Cruiserweight title.
Fair. I think there were so many options there, but I'm okay with MSK winning. I just feel like that of the 3 teams, either Grizzled Young Veterans or Legado del Fantasma would have had a great run too. Or still could. Speaking of great runs... Okay. Compose yourself.
You got your tissue ready?
Compose.
Not for that, but for the other thing.
Well, I can do that too if you want.
Oh, no.
Main event, night 1, Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai. Meltzer gave it 4 1/4 stars. I guess I'm the women's wrestling enthusiast, so I have to talk about it, I guess. Wrong kid died. No,
yeah, change your statement there now. Outside the joking side, did the Ron Kid really die?
No, absolutely not. It was Io Shirai's time to drop the belt. I'm actually surprised that it didn't happen against Dakota Kai. Having Raquel win it instead, I think will have an interesting twist to their relationship in the future, which will create better storylines in the future. So I'm all for it. I just want to see Io go up to the main roster. Obviously. I think Io's done pretty much everything she can do in NXT. We had this conversation beforehand when Belair went up, is that really there's nobody left in NXT to anchor the division. But now I feel like the women's side of things has really leveled out a lot more. So losing Io wouldn't be that as much of a blow as it would have been 3, 4, 5 months ago. I think I said,
but they're moving women off easier too. Like when the first time they did it, and they took everybody from Triple H, and he was like, "Just leave me Asuka." Like they learned from that mistake. I think now.
Yeah, I agree. Did I give Meltzer's ratings 4 1/4?
Yeah, you did.
I gave it 4 stars. So it was a great main event, but it wasn't even close to some of the other matches on this show. So
Meltzer's an overrating piece of shit to you?
You could say
no,
that.
I'll be the overrated piece of shit.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Chip, please enlighten us.
Well, first off, spot of the night. Io jumping off the top of the entrance was fucking amazing.
Thank you for bringing that up. So one of the funny moments, so I believe it was Travis that brought this up. I can't remember who brought it up in the chat. that bitched about the match? Was it Travis?
Oh, Travis. It's probably Travis.
It was probably Travis. So Travis was like, fuck this match. It has no psychology. And her jumping off the fucking skull meant nothing. My answer was simple. They're going to play that skull spot every fucking build up to every NXT women's match for the next 5 years. Number two, they did it the very next night, like 10 times during the video performance, Poppy's performance. So it's like, of course they were. It was a moment in the match.
And she nailed it.
And of course she nailed it. She's Io fucking Shirai.
I thought the match was great. I'm overrating this one, evidently, according to you and everyone else. But I give 4.5. I thought it was good storytelling going on. I think the right person did go over, and it's about time to see Raquel Gonzalez have a run.
Hey, as a general rule, we respect each other's opinions here.
Well, yeah, since someone else is in here right now.
When Fatman's not on.
Exactly.
Told you this was going to be a civilized one.
Don't worry, there's going to be some fighting.
I'm going to totally shit on night 2.
Well, we might have some troubles then.
Exactly.
I mean, overall thoughts on the show. Let's start with Ryan.
If I was going to pick like the worst match of the card, it would have been the main event for me. But it was just, everything was so good. And for some reason, NXT women's matches, especially on the takeovers, were always hit or miss for me. Being that this was the TV version and not the pay-per-view version, it made sense on who they pushed and how they booked the card and compared to what they put on night 2. I wasn't disappointed, and it was the second best show of the 4 shows, in my opinion.
Okay. Chip, what do you think?
I fully agree with Ryan. It's the second best show of the 4 shows. I thought it was very, very entertaining. A lot of great wrestling. I'm now going to have to go back and watch the Tommaso Ciampa and Walter match again because, I mean, the way you all, I got to look at it from your all's vantage point compared to what I normally look at a wrestling match vantage point from. And I might change my match of the night, but right now I'm going to leave it at Raquel and Io.
Okay.
With definitely for the night in star rating, I would give it 4.25.
Well, I guess I'm going to disagree with you guys, I guess. I thought it was the best show of the 4 nights. Spoiler for next week, I guess. I thought there was obviously my second best is going to be night 2, obviously, of NXT TakeOver, in my opinion. But in terms of night 1, there were more matches for me that were just mind-blowingly good.
And let me go ahead and play the fat man role here where you're fucking stupid.
The fuck? What in the motherfucker?
It had to happen. It had to happen. I'm bald. I got a beard. I had to play the role.
I mean,
leave him alone. Let him get one out every now and then. Stop being a piece of shit.
Wait, you said never mind. I was going to go in a totally different direction.
I didn't say anything. Let's just go. I was just like,
no, I was saying about how you thought that it was the best night out all 4. That man would be like, you're fucking wrong and nuts. That's all I was saying.
I think you would agree with me. Honestly. I really do believe.
We'll find out when he bitches me out in the chat tomorrow.
We will. Well, the nice part is he can't talk shit about it because he can't talk.
Well, that's true. Take the dick out of your mouth, fat man.
I've got 4 out of the 5 matches are over 4 stars. Of course it's going to be, for me personally, it's got with a 5-star match on here. It's going to be my favorite night. So, okay, we'll be back after these messages. Okay, let's move on to night 2. We already talked about the pre-show match, so let's get into the opener for the actual. This was actually a pay-per-view because they did it on Peacock only. By the way, I know, Ryan, you don't have Peacock because you still watch it on the WWE Network / your cable provider. Chip, what was your experiences with Peacock?
I've been watching Peacock ever since it came out because I have Xfinity down here, and it's part of our package, so we get it.
Oh,
I've never had an issue with it. One of the drinking games for WrestleMania night was if it crashes or skips, you have to down your whole drink. Never happened. I thought they've had a lot of experience with the Peacock, not WWE Network wise, but other networks that run off the Peacock, like NBC, USA, all the other networks in America that run off it are having no issues whatsoever. So I really didn't expect any issues, and I didn't have any. I do have one complaint. Let me go ahead and stop that. I don't like the fact that you, like, on the network, you can sit there and say, I'm just watching TV with Kim, and I want to start from the beginning. I can go to the beginning. No. Not on Peacock. I had to wait all the way until after the post show and everything so it could be recycled to be replayed on the Peacock. I did not like that. And that's why I fell asleep during night 2 and I had to watch it again because it was like literally 1 a.m. before I was able to watch it. And I was like, this is some bullshit.
Okay, I'm gonna ask
that was my only complaint.
I'm going to ask you one other question then. What was the platform you used to watch Peacock on?
I had to bring my Kim's Roku down.
So you used Roku?
Yeah.
Okay. So my experience was that it hung up multiple times. And Peacock,
seriously,
Peacock in general does not work for me.
What do you use?
Android TV. It's a completely different.
It's not even on Amazon right now, so I couldn't even. Kim had to take the Amazon Fire Stick upstairs so we could switch. And you only have with Amazon, because I have Fire TV as well, but you can only do it a preview or like get a little preview of it. It doesn't even have it, so that's why we had to switch it off. So I would suggest getting a Roku if you're going to continue with this.
We're not. It's absolutely not. I have enough things that I could probably watch. Well, I have a computer to the large screen. I have a PlayStation 4, a full-on computer, and the Android TV is built into the TV itself.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
that's part of the reason why we're trying it that way. By the way, as an aside, you can actually sideload the Peacock app onto the Fire Stick, kind of the same way you do with like
jailbreaking it.
Well, it's not really jailbreaking it. All you're doing is telling it to install an app that's not from the Amazon App Store. But that's a whole
kind
other
of jailbreaking it.
Well, it's not. It's not because you're not doing any actual change inside the operating system. You're just using it in a different form than what Amazon wants you to use it for.
Okay, I got you.
Versus like when you jailbreak an iPhone or something like that, you're literally changing code inside of it to allow different things to happen that aren't allowed by Apple. So that's the main difference. Take it from the tech guy.
I'm not arguing.
So anyhow, the reason why I brought that up was that it froze multiple times during both nights of TakeOver and the second night of WrestleMania.
Did you watch opening night TakeOver on Peacock?
What's that?
Did you watch opening night TakeOver on Peacock?
I did. I didn't have a problem on the first night.
Gotcha.
Funny enough that here in Canada, where I go through my TV provider. So where it was on Peacock and USA Network night 1, for us in Canada, we get it on The Score or Sportsnet 360 or that general station.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
That was getting commercials, and when we were watching it on the network, it would just go black for a second and come back on and be like, oh, there was a commercial break. And then it would go black for a second or the sound would go and come back on. Welcome back to Peacock. And I'm like, I never left.
Oh, that reminds me. Thank you. That happened during the first night. During the match, I think it was the Kushida match, they went to commercial like that, and you audibly heard the ref tell Kushida, I think it was Pete Dunne he talked to, said, hey, yo, we're in break now. I'm like, fuckers, shut the fuck up a little bit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but with that one, you think that was their TV night, right? Like,
yeah, that was their TV night. It's fine. Whatever. It's just, come on, you guys.
yeah.
This, you
Whatever
ain't
kayfabe
John
was
Cena,
left just got shit
motherfucker.
on.
You ain't John Cena, fuck. You can't call the spot so loud that the guys in the back can hear you.
Or on
That's
TV.
fun.
So on to the show here. Sorry we got a little sidetracked, as usual. Jordan Devlin, the NXT Cruiserweight Champion versus Santos Escobar, the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. What the hell's going on here? Well, obviously, Devlin was caught in the UK. He was the Cruiserweight Champion. He was defending it in NXT UK. Santos Escobar won a tournament, I think it was, to become the new one here, and then was defending it here. And then finally, they came together and were like, my dick's bigger than yours. No, no, no. My dick's bigger than yours. No, no, no. Ladder match. Fuck off. What a way to open the show, though. Chip, let's start with you.
You don't want to start with me?
Yes, please.
No, because if you hated the show, you need to get your hate out right away so we can tell you how wrong you are.
Yes.
All right, Bat. All right, Fat Man.
Ah!
I did not enjoy that match whatsoever. I didn't. It seemed disconjoined. There was not. The one really cool spot was when he threw Devlin through the ladder on the turnbuckle from the ladder in the center ring. I gave it 2 3/4 stars.
You underrated piece of shit.
Agreed. What the fuck? Ryan?
Oh, it gets better. This gets better. Trust me. You're going to hate me more than Fat Man does.
No. Okay, first off, even if I hate you more than Fat Man does, I'm not going to say the things that Fat Man normally says, or at least try not to anyways. I will try to use blissful ignorance in this. But what the fuck is wrong with you?
They're starting off strong.
And I'm normally the cruiserweight fan. I did not enjoy it.
That was one of the best matter latches in years. Matter latches. Yeah.
Matter latches.
Yeah, that's what they're called now.
Copyright.
Yeah, I can't see how you just and
maybe I have to go back and watch it again and get back to you.
We have to sit here and say, to be fair, we're talking to a person who has literally an Intercontinental Championship behind him.
Yeah.
So there might be a tiny bit of bias on that. But
no, it blows my mind just because even I hate star ratings and I think you're retarded for saying so little. Anything from this card that involved the men and you say under 4.5 stars, I think you're crazy. And that's the whole pay-per-view.
Can I just leave now?
Well, he's got a fight on his hands because there's a couple of them on here that weren't as good as that. This was one of them. This was one of them. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Okay, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good as most of the card on night one. I gave it 3.5 stars. Meltzer gave it 3 3/4.
I am the underrated.
I thought it was.
Okay, cool.
I thought it was. It was
okay for a house show.
No. That's a kick in the balls.
I didn't even say that.
That is a total kick in the balls. No, I mean it was a great
great-ish.
No. The problem I had was they did a lot of the same common spots that you see in ladder matches now.
That might have been my issue with it.
There's not a ton of innovation, but what they executed was phenomenal. So, you know what I mean? I don't think it was the best ladder match in years. Hell no. but I also don't believe that it was bad. I don't think it was as low as Chip went, but I'm kind of walking a very strange line here because I believe that I'm literally in between you in terms of ranking this match, so I don't know what to say. Other than
you're the level-headed one.
That's never happened to me before.
All right, Ryan, give us yours.
He did. He said it was a phenomenal match, and he doesn't rate matches.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So
I thought that was just piggybacking on my rating, but okay, no, fair enough.
Yeah, he was not. The NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. You know what's funny is I forgot that these even existed. That's terrible, but it's the truth. Mainly because they've been around for what, 2 months? Maybe 3?
No, I kind of felt the same way too. Oh shit, I forgot to hear the thing now.
Yeah, it hasn't been long. It was right after the.
If they were around for 3 months, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. Considering that the first tag team that won it lost it like the very next night or that night or something.
Yeah, to Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, so we go into.
If what they said was true about those belts, though, it just sucks because they would have gotten Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez would have got a longer reign if they hadn't have them ready for the Dusty Finals.
Yeah. Well, also, they were not going to do a long reign if they were going to put the fucking title on Raquel.
True.
Yeah, but they would have 2-week total reign or 3-week total reign instead of an hour and 10 minutes. Like,
true, fair. This always goes. Here's the problem with this stuff, is that we just talked about how they finally got a little bit of a level in terms of the playing field in terms of the women's side. Adding 2 more belts with a tag team division might be a little bit cause of concern, because unless you've got a whole nother realm of female wrestlers coming in, there's not that many people that can hold those belts for a long time without also chopping your top level down a little bit. Because now you
didn't they just have a bunch of females come into the Performance Center?
They did, but they're not going to be ready for TV anytime soon.
Well, some maybe sooner than you think.
I feel like that they're going to...
Devil's advocate. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Okay. Well, Devil, shove your pitchfork up your ass. And...
Hey, not the first time I've been told that on this show.
I agree with Chip solely on they can funnel so many people out of that Performance Center anymore, and they're trained the WWE way. Like, they're never going to be oversaturated with talent or belts, because there's always going to be so many people coming behind that are done their way.
Okay. Well, here's the thing is that let's be honest here. NXT is no longer the developmental brand now, right?
No.
They're their own brand.
Mm.
So where is developmental?
Performance Center.
Yeah.
Not in front of fans. Not getting any experience working on TV. They've made it to the point where NXT is now, they got to push it like it's a regular brand, not like it's a developmental brand like OVW was or FCW was or anything like that.
My look on that is, I don't think they expected it to go as big as they did.
Oh, absolutely not.
They wanted it to be the single layer, the AHL version of the WWE being the NHL, but there was so much talent that came in and so much good management on Triple H's side that it kind of blew up.
Oh, okay, so like devil's advocate here, why can't it be both?
Okay, Ryan, I want you to take your devil's
pitchfork and shove it right up your fucking ass.
Hey, I was planning that.
Beat you to it. I told you I gotta be Fatman.
The problem is that
Lawyered.
it can't. The problem is it can't be both. I don't think, because you
It is its own brand, but it is its own brand. Plus, it's developmental because most of the people that they're bringing up for NXT, anyways, you're going to see them on TV. You're going to see these new people. There's always new people popping up on NXT that, when it's new to Raw and SmackDown, they could be in NXT for 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's still their developmental. They just got a national TV deal on it.
Well, here's the reality of it. NXT, I think the original point of NXT was just for it to break even. They weren't expecting it to be this huge, well, I don't want to say huge juggernaut, but definitely not this small, tiny, developmental promotion that, oh yeah, we also have TV because we put it on the network. They've got a full-on TV deal with it. They've got multiple, special events a year that are drawing a shit ton of money through, WWE Network. They're doing advertising now. They're doing all this shit. I feel like that there's now a pressure to perform at there's pressure to put your best foot forward on everything. And that doesn't always help developmental talent. Because then you're throwing always Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor and Adam Cole and, all these main event stars, so to speak, of the NXT brand on these shows where you could before throw a bunch of people that weren't as completely polished. Now you can't really do that, especially on these special events. But even on TV, you're not doing that as much. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fair thing to say that, well, maybe they can be both, but I don't see them being both.
They're not portraying it as both.
Yeah, they're portraying it as this is the third brand. You have Raw, you have NXT, and you have SmackDown. They are equal, but they're not.
Yeah,
but they are, because the NXT title is considered a world title now.
Right, but in terms of what they originally used NXT for, it's not. You see what I mean? It is.
Yeah.
It's so strange. But anyway, getting back to the match, this was probably the worst match of the two nights, barring the pre-show. I thought this was kind of sloppy. It wasn't great. I'm not a huge fan of Ember Moon and Shotzi as a tag team. I just don't think it works. Having the Way in there as a legit tag team, I guess, kind of works, but it's just, it didn't feel right to me. Meltzer gave it 2.5 stars. I was not as nice. I gave it 1.5. Ryan, you're the tag team wrestling enthusiast. What do you think?
The wrong kids died.
Okay.
I really think that I like the idea when they come up with them belts when they went down Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, because a strong heel team to take that under TV is going to be really good. Candice LeRae is really fucking good. Mm-hmm. And Indy Hartwell is just getting better. And this whole stable and this whole gimmick and the two of them with belts too just kind of pushes that whole angle as well, which is great. It was sloppy. It was the worst match of the two nights to take over. I can't really defend it. There's just not much I can say. Wrong kids died. That's what I'm saying.
I 100% agree with you. Chip?
2.25.
You overrating piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I did not enjoy it whatsoever.
And yet, you gave it 2.25 stars.
I didn't think there was
just
really
under average.
I didn't really think there was anything on either night show that was worthy of under a 2.
So this one just made it. Peered over the.
It just made it.
Wow. You know I gotta fucking edit that, you fuck.
Yeah, I know. That's what I did.
Motherfucker, you piece of goddamn garbage. I will make sure you will be saying some very strange shit on this show.
I was not interested whatsoever. It was sloppy as hell. Definitely a snooze fest. If I would have fallen asleep during that part of it, if I would have fallen asleep during night 2, well, actually I did, but it was around that match I fell asleep in.
I wonder why. Probably because it was a shit match. It didn't deserve 2.25 stars.
Yep.
Now, let's start to get on that little roller coaster and start building on how much wicked this show gets. I feel like I'm the only person that got on that roller coaster.
I'm just watching you go up on your own. Just bye, Ryan. Bye.
I'll be looking at you from the ground.
See ya. I don't fucking do roller coasters. Just ask Fatman.
Listen, when Gargano and Bronson Reed started, I was like, this is weird. And from the start of that match to the end of the pay-per-view, it was fucking nonstop go, deadly, amazing. Best show of the weekend was night 2.
Okay. Let me tell you all the ways you're wrong.
Okay.
Let's start with Gargano and Reed.
You're Gargano and Mark. What is your problem with this match?
It wasn't bad. It just didn't knock my socks off. That's all.
I appreciate your respectful opinion, sir. We disagree, but you're not about it.
God damn it.
See you next Tuesday.
Chip, why couldn't you just said...
Because I had to be a fat man and make you do your job.
Considering I'm doing his fucking job.
What an...
You motherfuckers. The fuck did I fucking do this week for? God damn it.
Okay, come on. So why was... is there any other problem? Like, why did you not like it?
It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. It was
what the girlfriend would say when she wants it. Like, oh, okay, baby, you don't want to give me a blowjob. You only want to give me a hand job. Yeah, that's fine. Like, what the fuck?
That's pretty.
A hand job.
You've hit it right on the edge. Hand job's still great.
Right on the edge.
Right on the edge. Right on the edge. Hand job's still pretty fucking good because it's a hand job. It's not a blow job, but it's still a hand job. Okay? That is this match in a nutshell. It was good. I would have preferred something better, but it was still good. You take what you could get. And this was definitely taking what you could get. I thought Gargano did a decent job of being Johnny fucking Takeover, but it didn't blow my socks off like apparently it did with you. Meltzer gave it 3.25 stars. I gave it 3.5. So I'm still an overrating piece of shit considering. And by the way, fuck Dave Meltzer. I don't think we've said that yet on the show. So.
I did earlier.
Okay. Well, double making sure fuck Dave Meltzer. Chip. Bring us back.
Well, I don't know if you want me to bring you back. Jesus Christ. I was on a roller coaster for this match. I was really not enjoying it at the beginning. And then I really started to enjoy it. And then it was kind of like a, the little meniscus when you look at a beaker and the water's just like this. And this is how it started. Low. And then went up. And then right about... It just ended. It was weird because to me it was like a Shakespearean style play. The way that it arced and then, like you would think the end would be the climax, but the climax is really in the middle, and the ending was just a falling action from a story standpoint.
Okay,
I gave it 4.25.
What?
It was on its way to be match of the night in my book. But it fell that drastically.
What the fuck matches were you guys watching? Seriously.
What the fuck were you watching?
I don't know, but I just want to let people know it is legal to smoke weed in New York now.
And Canada.
Well,
I
it's
don't know if
always
it is
been,
in PA or not, but I know I'm not
it's
hot.
been like that for years. So,
I'm kind of more shocked at how you didn't like this match. Like,
and I love Johnny Gargano. I really do.
I know.
It had a lot of the same undertones that the ladder match had. You know what I mean? It was Johnny Gargano hitting all the same, the greatest hits almost.
That's a fucking cop-out answer for the ladder match and for this. Just because, it's the same shit he does, that it's the greatest hits, but it's still being done so fluidly. Like, the spots were picked perfectly. Like,
Are you going to make me have to go back and watch NXT TakeOver 2 again tomorrow?
Go back and watch NXT TakeOver Night 2. Watch it in your head. Don't go to fucking sleep this time. Enjoy the fucking show.
Fair enough.
Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship. Are we back on that roller coaster?
No,
Chip,
hell no.
Chip.
I'm the Balor mark here. You know this.
Yes. So
So what?
what the fuck are you going to rate this fucking thing?
I enjoyed the shit out of this match. I thought it was definitely the best match on night 2 of TakeOver. I'm giving it 4 3/4. 4? What, really? I thought it was really good storytelling. The right guy went over. It was kind of cool because it goes back, and Finn has actually, I'm not saying, he's actually mentioned this, how he never lost the Universal title, and he never had a chance to fight back for it. He was giving Karrion Kross the opportunity to get his title back because Karrion Kross never lost it. I'm becoming a huge Karrion Kross fan. He's a monster. It was another monster situation. He was 270, 240, I think, 250, and Finn was 190.
I don't remember what he's
Actually, I think it was 265. He was 6'4", 265, I believe. But I think that I was a little shocked that the forearm to the back of the head is what knocked him out, though. That really shot me for the ending. I mean, he was beating the shit out of him with the forearm, which, okay, I understand, but the running forearm is the one thing that threw me off. I was just like, oh, okay. But I didn't think there were any botches. I thought it was a very fluid match, great storytelling, and good ring psychology. Okay, now you can call me an overreaching piece of shit. It's cool.
No, you are 100% correct. I'd like to hear how sleazy is fucking wrong.
I thought it was a great match. What?
Oh, so you want to make me?
I'm just surprised you rated it 3 and 3.
Like, we're going to fight now. Are we okay?
Well, first of all, I do take offense to the fact that Chip rated it 4 3/4. It's not a 4 3/4 match. No way. 4? Yes, absolutely. Great match. Put together well. The right person went over. It was a perfect timing for Finn to drop the belt. Who it had to have been Travis.
Why would you only give it a 4?
The problem I have with the match, and by the way, I hate this, but fucking Meltzer gave it 3 3/4.
Was he high? He's in California, right? He's legal over there.
He was watching this live because he was down there. My problem ends up being this, is that with Finn, okay, I don't like Karrion Kross. Okay, that's going to be part of this. I don't like his moveset. I don't like how he's presented. I feel like that they don't know who he is yet. They've got this almost aura around him, but then he's just this cool ass striker dude. And then you've got Scarlett Bordeaux almost fucking creaming herself every time they come out. It's weird.
I'm okay with that, by the way.
Well, who isn't? I'm not even I am not a huge fan of, as Fatman would put it, attractive women, I guess. But, which is, first of all, is untrue. Second of all, I'm just not a huge fan of blondes and stuff like that. I guess that traditional Marilyn Monroe style.
Well, I'm a huge fan of blondes, as you see who I'm engaged to.
Fair.
So your issue with
But Scarlett is just like,
you don't like Cross?
I don't like
That's what are you trying to think
how his matches are put together, I guess.
So are you going to put him in the same category as Goldberg?
I put him more in the same category as Bobby Lashley, actually.
Who is now the
WWE champion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure we're on the same page.
He is the WWE champion, and Mr. Man with Cross in his name is holding the title with an X in it. Shocker. No, his presentation doesn't do it for me, and his matches fall flat for me a little bit. But it's still a 4-star match. It was still great. It wasn't to the same level as half the matches in night one. You know what I mean? It's great. If this show was standing on its own, I honestly think I would have had a different opinion. But because of the fact we watched night one and we saw all those amazing matches, you almost have to line them up against it when you watch night two. And for me, you line it up against any one of the matches with few exceptions on night one, it doesn't stand up as well, personally. That
Fair enough.
And I think that's the bigger problem with me with this show is that I loved night one so much that it might have actually biased me a little bit towards some of the ratings in night two. What's that?
It jaded you to night two?
I wouldn't say jaded. I would just say, it forced a comparison that probably wasn't legitimate. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Synonym jaded. I'm just kidding.
Wow. I am not Travis.
Hey, that is a nice way of saying jaded, I'm saying. Like,
I was trying not to be jaded. It's not. Well, the difference is just shitting over it because, all matches are the same. It's not that. It's just I'm putting it probably unfairly up against matches that I thought were just.
Would you have put Karrion Kross and Balor on night one?
100% yes. 100%.
Do you think that might have forced him to be better?
Yes.
If it was on night one?
Mm-hmm.
So was there potential that it could have been a 4 3/4 star match?
Possibly, yeah.
If you put it on night one and they had the energy and everything from hot match to hot match to hot match, the crowd was going and pumping them up and giving them that power.
I feel like you could have made this a better match. I don't think it would go that high because I still have a problem with Karrion Kross's moveset.
Okay, well,
his presentation.
With that.
But I do believe that Finn would have amped it up a little bit more.
Okay, so you're saying he kind of mailed it in?
I think that Balor not being in the main event hurt that.
But that's the problem because the next match had to be the last match of the night.
100%.
And I have issues with this match too, but we'll go on.
Really?
Only a couple.
Well, let me start off and say it was the other 5-star match of the week of this 4-night week. It was phenomenal. Absolutely perfect. You couldn't have made a better match if you tried. The only reason why I don't rate it higher than 5 stars is because I'm not fucking Meltzer. And Meltzer can go, what's that?
What did he rate it at?
He rated it the same as MSK, the Triple Threat Tag, and Walter. 4.5 stars.
Half stars? All right.
Yeah. So this was hard hitting. It was vicious. It told a story. It was beautifully done. There was so much action, so much innovation. Where I was talking beforehand, it was the same spots over and over again. 95% of this match had never been done before. The other thing about it was whatever.
Good. No, I have a way I can beg to differ with you because you weren't where I continue. Now I'll state my claim.
Okay. I can't find fault
Just so
with the match.
we're clear, I agree with you, Sleazy. So
Okay. I can't find fault with this match. There's nothing I could even say. There were things that were done in such subtle ways that just made this match so much better than anything else on this show. Everything was crisp. Everything was done with purpose. Everything had some sort of little tiny twist / cool little bit / Easter egg. There were a lot of callbacks to shit. There were callbacks to other matches from other decades. The whole going through the stage gimmick.
I found that even if you didn't get some of the callbacks to their other matches, every spot that they had in that match was still really good. So, and to me, it was, okay, cool. You had a good match. I remember that. Oh, that's cool. I like that. They kept your mind going the entire match.
100% agree. So, Chip.
Man.
Hang on.
You're the ruiner of dreams.
Well,
tell us how fucked up
here's
you
the
are.
First thing. I wanted to call Balor and Cross match of the night, but I didn't because this match took place. This match was definitely a 5-star match. I fully agree, but let me finish.
Okay.
I saw this same match in Dallas when they were with ROH.
Yeah, that is 100% fair.
Because I'm sitting here with Dell, and Dell was like, because Dell was down in Dallas with me and Fatman and Josh, and Dell's like, "Hey, does this look familiar to you?" And I'm like, "It kind of does." Why? He's like, "Because they did the same exact match in ROH in Dallas."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Okay, that's the only reason I was thrown off by it, because it was the same exact change spots, perfect." Everything was perfect, on point, everything. And that had been the best ROH match I'd seen live, ever. And I stick by it now. It's still a 5-star match. But I had already seen it before. Everything.
So it's a perfect match.
The only thing
that
I
you've
had
seen
not
before.
seen was the tackling through the stage. That was awesome.
And that was a callback to Taz and Bam Bam.
Yes.
I thought it was funny that there was a stage there, and I was like, that's weird. And we got all the way through night one, and I was like, well, maybe the stage is there for you. It's your eye spot. No, that don't make sense, because she made hard jumps like that, waiting. And it wasn't until their match that was like, the only reason they had a fucking stage was for that one spot on night 2 in the main event.
Yep. And unlike other spots that do similar stuff, you saw Kyle go through, take the bump entirely. Unlike, the camera angle hits and hides a lot of it. You saw it go through.
Cole for kicking the wood to get.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Shit like that matters, though, because that if you were in a fight, you wouldn't go reach down and get him, right? You'd kick through the side so you could pull him through. Shit like that, small shit like that. Just
it was definitely a match of your candidate too.
Yeah, and I believe I said that in the chat. Is that it was absolutely match of the year candidate. If I had to choose between Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa and this match, I think I have to choose Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. I think I have to, because while Walter and Ciampa was Walter and Ciampa, this was Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly.
The psychology was ridiculous. The storytelling was amazing. Everything.
It was the difference between
Walter. I'd pick Walter and Ciampa over the two of them, because they did it without the weapons. They did it without all the hard, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't need that stuff. But I get that O'Reilly and Cole is a long story for people that have followed in for early days to hear now. A match like that is perfect for their whole get together. Mm-hmm. But Ciampa and Walter didn't need all the extra shit.
And I just want to point out, they did have a similar match in PWG too. So this,
I did.
Yeah, I didn't see the Ring of Honor match, but I did see the PWG
you went with
match.
this.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think the story was a little bit better with Cole and Kyle, but Walter and Tommaso told such a story in the ring that it's hard to overlook that.
Mm-hmm.
But having such a long-term connection between the two, I think it makes it just edges it out for me in terms of the favorite match of the two nights. Overall thoughts on the two shows. Let's start with Ryan, who's up here.
There's going to be a lot of discussion over the next couple of months about different shows, but I'm calling it right now that if you look at that show as a whole show, that's event of the year, no matter what fucking Fed puts on a show. If you split the two nights off into two different, I think night 2 is the best show that you're ever going to see this year.
Okay. Chip?
I really got to go watch night 2 now because I'm really perplexed by a lot of what's going on tonight. I thought night 1 was awesome. It really was. I had my attention the whole time. I'm a fan of I have ADD really bad. So, as you can see, because I'm watching hockey and doing a podcast at the same time. But every match, I didn't want to go to my phone. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to stay in and watch NXT TakeOver night 1 straight through. On night 2, I just lost interest. I was easily distracted. The last 3 matches were the matches of the night. And if you wanted to have a super card of NXT TakeOver and have it to be, if you added the 3 matches from NXT TakeOver night 2, the last 3, I would have been fine with that. But the other 2, the Cruiserweight didn't do it for me. The women's tag team definitely didn't do it for me. And I really got to go back and watch Gargano and Bronson because I didn't even enjoy it that much. So I don't know. Night 2, I don't know. I'm going to go watch it again, like I said. But night 1 was amazing.
Well, I can say this, and we kind of had this debate in our year-end awards this past year, is what do we do with multiple night events that are under one banner? I'm still of the opinion that if it's one event, even though it's 2 nights, it's still one event and it should be discussed as such.
Well, I agree with that, but then now that I've started watching JPW, I kind of disagree with that as well. Because you could sit there and follow Wrestle Kingdom and NXT TakeOver and WrestleMania as a 2-night and have a couple different options for that, for the 2-night both. I just got done watching Sakura, which was only a 1-night thing, so...
Well, we this past year, we considered Wrestle Kingdom one show. And it ended up...
Okay, well, in that case, if you do consider one show, then okay, never mind.
Well, that's the thing, is that we kind of made the decision that we consider them multiple night shows of the same exact show. Like, G1 Climax is 37 nights, okay, or however many nights it is.
It's the whole tournament.
That's different. I'm talking about a 2-night event where it's considered one show, but over 2 nights.
Gotcha, okay.
I consider this one show. And we kind of reviewed it as such. I believe that I have to agree with Ryan. You know, it's going to be hard to top the show. Despite some of my more, I guess, pissy takes on some of the matches, it still was a phenomenal show. right from the first match all the way to the end. So good luck trying to, fucking follow it.
Not that far.
Yeah, really. They tried in WrestleMania, but I don't think they made it. So that's pretty much it for the show. Ryan, what is your Twitter?
Ryan Buck 85.
Awesome. Chip, what is the last 4 digits of your social security number?
Not part of my Twitter. The sports guru 728.
You don't
also, the fourth line. No, Jesus Christ Almighty, did it again. The Best Damn Sports Show Period 2 will be making a return very soon.
Well,
so check Facebook Live out for that.
We will have to. I am at TWS Sleazy. Fatman's at TWS Fatman. Oh, someday he will be back. The show is Twitter is at Sleazy Fatman. You can also find us on Facebook at The Wrestling Show, at facebook.com/sleazy and the Fat Man. You can also find the show anywhere you can find your podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, like the show. Make sure that you automatically download our show because it helps us out. You can find us on Gear Network and thewrestlingshow.com. And of course, find us on Instagram if you haven't already. Just don't go through our follows, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. A lot of Asian women. I don't know who controls that account.
Also, you guys get a chance to listen to a podcast called What's Wrong with Wrestling? It is a
What the hell is this? What you doing plugging other fucking wrestling podcasts?
Because I have other podcasts plug us. What do you expect?
Okay, I'll allow it.
There you go. Well, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Fair.
Anyway, it's a very, very funny couple funny guys out of New York. They have really good impressions of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. So some very funny stuff.
I got a shit ton of great impressions. Here's me doing the Fat Man. And there you are.
Lawyered.
No. Yeah, check them out. Do you have their website offhand?
I do not, but I will have it next week.
Actually, find it, send it to me. We'll put it in liner notes. But yeah, so for Ryan, for Chip, this is Sleazy. Fat Man hopefully will be back next week. Otherwise, peace.
That you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain of the game. The bloodshed in your name. When there's nothing to gain, I'm the world gone sad.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.